Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 7th, presented by Mercury. We're going to connect with Lee Pitts and talk Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. We're going to talk to Josh Herron about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. And then, of course, Tom Ott on Guntersville. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 7th, presented by Mercury. Time for us to connect with Josh Herron, talk Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, I spent some time there at Logan Martin at the Coosa River Team Trail last weekend, and boy, did I struggle.
Yeah, if anybody can find the plug, pull it, turn it into a pontoon boat lake. That's what it is anyway. We've reached that magical time of the year where fish have come off the bed. We got lots of shad spawns going on. Not so many fish in the shad spawns, but it's definitely a time of the year where you need to be on the lake at daylight. It is imperative. That's when pretty much everything that's happening substantially through the course of the day is happening. And that's about the only way you can get your back to survive Logan Martin right now.
Well, I think there's still some fish climbing up onto the beds, and it's kind of a weird mixture. I think it depends on where you're at on the lake, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Logan Martin's always traditionally been kind of weird the way fish spawn there. Fish on the bottom end will spawn with the water down. They always have. I don't really know why. It's kind of like the bottom end of Logan Martin sets up like a lake, and everything, call it riverside up, sets up as a river. And those fish up the lake traditionally do not spawn until the water comes all the way up. I don't really know why, because the fish on the bottom end have no problem spawning wherever, whenever. But up the lake, you still got fish that are going to be climbing up. You're going to have like probably one or two decent waves this month up there, fish that'll spawn. And then it gets into that really weird washy phase of shad are spawning, bluegill are spawning. Probably still going to have some fry garters / bedding fish. And it's just a really weird time of the year. It always is. But like I said, that doesn't mean you can't catch any. I caught a bunch last weekend. Didn't catch any big ones. Yeah, it's rise and grind, man.
Yeah, it is.
Embrace the journey.
Talked to a guy on a dock there that said the crappie were biting, and he'd been able to put some crappie in the boat, some of those deeper docks. What are you hearing out of Lay Lake?
Lay Lake is about the same right now. Lay, it's pretty much dictated by shad spawn. It's awesome when it happens. It's probably the fastest way you'll catch over 20 pounds anywhere I've ever seen is on a shad spawn, and it's great. But spots are pretty much done doing their deal. They're starting to creep out. They're going to be brush. Any of those little like 6 to 10, 8-foot drops, they're going to hang around it until the shad get done doing with their deal. You don't have to fish deep right now, and you don't really have to fish anything complicated. Little swim baits are good for spotted bass right now. Drop shots around brush and eco rigs, any of that stuff.
All right, brother, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the advice, and we will talk to you again next week. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 7th, presented by Mercury. It's time to head on up to Weiss Lake, where our Fish Neely Henry Lake pro, Lee Pitts, is sitting on the water. He's supposed to be working, but we've got him hung up. Anyway, Lee, what's going on? Let's start with Neely Henry this time.
Neely's looking real good right now. I'll start with the crappie end of it. A lot of the docks down there are really holding some fish. I've talked to some of the guys, and the dock shooting is getting to be more of our approach right now. The fish are starting to move away from some of the backs of the creeks and coming on back out, and they really like to hold around not even the permanent docks, but those floating docks as well. Anything from 4 to 6 foot of water. Some of these fish on your secondary points in these creeks, even the deeper docks, are holding a lot of numbers of fish. Right now, the thing is you just got to dig through them to get to the better fish, but they're really, really holding on these dock poles right now.
What about the bass bite at Neely Henry? What are you hearing out of that?
The bass at Neely are picking up a little bit. I know that, I think with the Coosa Trail last year at Logan, things were a little tough on guys, but from what I'm hearing, that the spotted bass are starting to kind of get up on some of these hard spots again. They're kind of through with their thing. They're getting ready to start feeding up a little bit. Largemouth are still, they're trying to get back to normal, trying to get where they'll chase a little bit. They're not everywhere. It's some of these places that the fish, I think, where they spawned 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're kind of coming out of that little funk that they get in, and they're starting to do their thing. Buzzbait bite, a little bit of a spinnerbait bite is coming on. You got to throw a small spinnerbait from what I'm hearing down there. The bigger blades, the bigger thump, they're not wanting that. But they're starting to come around and get aggressive. Still a plastic bite, slow down and work those lay downs and the stumps and any kind of wood cover, and then that old dead grass, there's starting to be some green come up. So it's Neely Henry's looking good right now.
So in the last minute, what's going on at Weiss Lake?
Our crappie are really doing it. They're also a dock shooting deal. It's they're coming out of these flats and they're getting on the docks. But the bass fishing here on Weiss is still a little tough. The spotted bass also here are getting on your road beds, some of your hard spots, rock piles. The largemouth aren't everywhere, but if you sit down on a little stretch of bank where they will feed, you can catch them. Got a good shad spawn going on, but the fish just hadn't really been. You can find a great shad spawn and there's just no fish and they're feeding on them. So the largemouth are still a little finicky. You just got to take your time, slow down, throw some plastics. As bad as I hate it, throw that little old weightless Senko and just hope you put it on one of them's head.
Lee, man, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks and have a great day. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 7th, presented by Mercury. We know that our guy Tom has been spending a bunch of time up there on Guntersville, and I know that he's going to share the best of everything with us. Tom, what's happening up there?
Man, Dano, I think I was still a little weak off on that whole, post-spawn funk deal, but the fish are really starting to make a move. And I think that's really what the deal was. Just a lot of fish are moving from that shallow, kind of going to their summer haunts. So, it's time to, break out the flipping stick, flip some of that thicker grass, get out there on those ledges, find some of those deeper humps. Those fish are really starting to gang up out there, guys. It's a perfect time to throw a Carolina rig, a big football head jig, whatever your favorite deep bait is. But I would say anywhere from 10 feet down to about 25 feet right now. Fish are just on the move. It's getting really, it's getting good. We're still catching a few pre-spawn fish. I'm sure there's pre-spawn fish all over the place, but we're catching a few really good ones. But a lot of the things that we're catching shallow are mostly, fry garters, that kind of thing. But you will pick up a decent fish here and there. Mix it in with a little top water. A whopper plopper's really hot right now, especially over that shallow grass. Get out there, just a whopper plopper, a popar, your favorite buzz bait, black buzz bait, kind of my favorite. But man, it's just it's Guntersville, and we're catching a lot of fish right now. I mean, just a whole lot of fish. Just that size hasn't really come along, and I think that's just indicative of the pressure that we're seeing right now. I mean, it is Guntersville.
So the MLF Big Five Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit's there this next week. What do you expect to see out of those guys? What kind of weights are you going to look for?
Well, like I say, with the fish making that push, I really expect we're going to see 20+ pound bags are going to be they're going to be at the top, but I'm thinking probably 22 pounds a day for the winners. I think that's, and we could get really surprised. Somebody could really just rake in a big, huge bag of them. But, it's still a little hit and miss. Those guys are good. They're the pros, and that's why they do what they do. Let me just say this too. If you guys, if you're worried about the pressure, the pros are out there. There's going to be a lot of boats here and there. Grab some crickets and some worms, those brim, the shell cracker. They're up shallow, and that's just as much fun when you take a kid out there and catch a bunch of those.
Well, Tom, as always, man, we appreciate everything. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next time.
All right, tight lines, guys. Be safe out there.
Well, that'll wrap up our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 7th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys. We appreciate everything. You help us put fish in the boat, and that's what this is all about. Don't forget to stop on by Bucks Island whenever you need anything. We'll do the best we can to help you, whether it's finding a boat with our sales staff, Katie, Melissa, and Patrick. See Pat and the guys in parts, Angela and everybody there in the service department, and, of course, all the tackle you could ever want or need up in the loft with Colin and Jamie. Thanks for spending this time with us, and we'll talk to you again next week.